Hey, good evening, Think Nation. It's Brian Doyle here today on day 4 of the Metathinq 30-day content challenge. So, as I probably have mentioned in my previous posts, Tuesday through Thursdays are really my big client days. So I do a lot of consulting, got a couple family obligations as well. And these are the days I knew would be my tighter, more challenging content development days. But I didn't let myself off the hook. Part of the reason I created this challenge was to make sure that on those days where I don't quite have the same amount of time that I do on the weekends, on Mondays and Fridays to put towards content, that I'm still getting some things done. So today was a real simple day for me. I'm in the process of getting ready to start recording my podcast. That I actually am planning 2 podcasts, one that's associated with Metathinq and another one for a new website I'm launching, Virtual MSP Coach, which is basically business strategy consulting and coaching, but very key for the IT services industry, which I was a part of for a very long time. So to get ready for this, basically what I did was start putting together my outlines for those shows. I'm used to speaking in public. It's something that I do, but I like those notes that kind of help me stay on course. And I want to make sure that any reference material I want to go back to, any articles that I want to report back to, even though I'll put them in the show notes, that I've got that accurately put together for these podcasts. And, something that I learned, and one of my favorite podcasters is a guy named John Lee Dumas. Many of you might be familiar with him. He's the host of Entrepreneurs on Fire, EO Fire. He basically does a daily podcast. So think about it, 365 podcasts a year with interviewing entrepreneurs. Very formulaic. He knows exactly what they're going to bring to the table, so that really helps him get this done. But he records those shows over the course of 3 or 4 days. So he gets his whole month's worth of content, at least the content that he's sharing in his podcasts, ready in those 3 or 4 days. And then the rest of his month's really working on distribution of that content, getting the word out, marketing, and continuing to work on it. And he's got millions of followers. He's done almost 2,000 shows at this point. And really, that concept of batch processing is one of the things I'm trying to make sure that folks understand in this challenge. Sit down, get a plan, get as much as done as you can in a day. Don't write 1 blog, 2 blogs, 3, at a time. Really get ready and say, how am I going to get my blogs out for the next month? And then get that publishing schedule consistent. So for me, I'm a realist. This isn't my number one job to put together content. So I'm planning as I move forward to have a blog a week that gets released on my site and another podcast a week that gets replaced on my site. The Metathinq podcast will be more seasonal based, where I'm going to bring information about business strategy and how to improve your profits and long-term value on a weekly basis. But we'll pick a subject. We'll go deep on that subject. There'll be 6 episodes. We may take a month off, and then the next chapter will come out. On the virtual MSP side, I expect to have a podcast a week, and that's going to be a more free-flow interview, how-to, some value content about IT services. And again, it'll tie back to how do you build that business, get long-term value, and make your operational process stronger. That's what I talk about. So those are the things that I'm doing, in addition to getting those outlines done today, which really are just merely some bullet points where I'm basically saying, here's the 5 things I want to do in about a 20-minute podcast. Again, bite size for you to take on the road during your commute. And here's the things I want to cover during that period of time. And, should be pretty straightforward on that end. The only other thing I did today, besides, of course, this Facebook Live video, which is a great way to create some value and some content for your viewers in your tribe. The real reality of what else I got done today was I was able to make a Facebook cover for that virtual MSP team. And I'll take a moment and just show you what that looks like. So basically what we've got here is what I've put together as our Facebook page. I had a very sketched out Facebook page, so this has been operational for a while, but it really didn't have a banner. Still got very few members, and that's something that we're working on right now. So that was just a little glimpse into to what we've put together, and that really says it all for tonight. Thanks again for joining me on day 4 of the Metathinq 30-day content challenge, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care.